If you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, or stuck, if depression has been weighing on you, if addiction has been a part of your story, or if you're carrying the shame, loneliness, or a sense of hopelessness you don't know how to name, this space is for you. Recovery is not about perfection. It is about honesty. It's about connection. And most of all, it's about transformation. One conversation, one truth, one step at a time. I'm Randy, and we're here to talk openly about the struggles, the setbacks, and the moments that redefine us. Because healing begins when we stop suffering in silence. So take a breath. You're not alone. Let's have some transformation talks. Hey everybody, this is Transformation Talks podcast. My name is Randy, and today we have a very special guest, Mr. Joey Wilson. Joey, how are you?
Hi, Randy. How are you, man?
Doing good, man. So glad you're here, dude.
It's a pleasure and an honor to be asked to be here.
Dude, it's awesome, man. Really, really glad you're here. Episode 2. Super excited about this episode. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Well, official birthday is August 18th, 1980. I was born in a little bitty podunk town in Tennessee called La Follette. It's about 30 miles north of Knoxville. Yeah, man, it's, well, if I'm being honest, I mean, the only thing that really there was to do there was steal, lie, and do drugs. So, yeah, at the time, me being a kid, it was everywhere I ever wanted to be. Later on in life, I feel like that's absolutely the place that took me to everywhere I didn't want to be. Yeah.
So how was your family life growing up?
I don't really know that I have a word for it. I could say dysfunctional, but it was dysfunctional to say the least. But maybe it was definitely. I had my mom. I didn't. I had a dad. Obviously, we all get here through having a father, but he just wasn't around. So with that being said, my great aunt, while my mom was working, she was the one who raised me. We stayed in her house. But my mom stayed working all the time, trying to keep, clothes on my back and food in my mouth and all the things. So I seen her very little, but mine and my great aunt's, relationship was very, very strong. I love that woman with everything inside me. That was my safe place. So finally, we get out from underneath my mom finally gets a good enough job to where we can move out. So we get a little trailer down the street from my aunt's. Life starts being mine and her. So she, I had a pretty decent childhood, man, especially with everything she had to work with. Single mom, back in the early 80s, money was very limited. We had been in and out of Tennessee to Florida and then back to Tennessee a few times. But whenever we finally moved back from Florida and we stayed, we moved into this trailer. And it was finally just me and her, like I said. And we went from that to, she was going out and doing the things. But she wasn't an addict. Now, she drunk and stuff in social settings and things of that nature, I remember one time she put me in football, I was 7 or 8 years old. Mm-hmm. She paid to have me put in Pee Wee football, so I was, I'm going to go do the football thing, right? So the thing is I didn't realize that I had separation anxiety because I was either with my aunt or I was with my mom. There was no in between. So she takes me and drops me off at football, and notice I said she drops me off. Yeah. So I'm watching her wheel out of the parking lot. The only thing that I had playing in my mind at the time was the last time I seen my dad. He drove out, I never seen him again. My mom drops me off, and that's what plays in my mind as a child. It's she's leaving, she's never coming back. So I am crying, sob crying on the football field as I'm trying to run around. And the coach is like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "My mom's not coming back to get me. She's leaving me here." dude, she went to the store. I don't care. She has to be here the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the first little bit of trauma that I get in my life is through that, right? I don't even know what that is, but she shows back up, right? Like, and I'm like, oh, I'm so relieved. Like, I've got this big smile. Like, she even brings me a candy bar, bro. Like, I'm a big kid, you know what I'm saying? So, like, candy bar, popcorn, chips, soda. That's how you get to me, right? She married the man that I call my father in November of 1990. I can't tell you the date exactly, but November
Right.
of 1990, she marries the man that I call my father. That was a rough childhood.
Right.
It was a lot of misunderstanding whenever it come to that too, and I'll get to that a little bit later. Like there was just a lot of domestic abuse in the household. And yet again, like I start this. Okay, so I'm young, and she's the only thing that I've ever known, right? So I see things happening in the household that a lot of other people don't see. So I have to play the part to where that's my mom. You're not going to play that, right? Well, it didn't fare well for me either. So I remember times, man, like going to school, like I would have to wear, I had to watch the clothes that I wear in case some things were just a little too revealing, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fear that had been, set into me about, well, look, if something happens, like they're going to take you away, law's going to show up, and then we're not going to have nowhere to go, right? That's something else when we get on the backside of that. And so I do, right? So there's that first little stage of what I see as manipulation in my life today. It's like I make up certain stories, and what happens is somebody believes that story. So automatically, dude, I like the way that makes me feel because I could pretend as if I'm not somebody else. I could pretend that I'm not the guy who's having to put up with this, you know what I'm saying, or having to live this life. So I do. Like for a lot of the time, like I don't know how to be me. Like at some point I was like in between that, but that was later on down the road. But as 12, 13 years old, bro, like I didn't know who I was. Like I thought I was adopted because of the simple fact of the things that were going on. Because like the stuff would go on, and then she wouldn't. My mom would never get us out of that. Right? She would always stay in that. Yet again, that's something else later on through the story. So I harbor a lot of, I guess today I would call it resentment.
Yeah.
Then I called it hate. I harbored a lot of that towards her over the simple fact that she would never get us out of there.
Would you say for certain going through situations like that, it caused a lot of, like, did you ever experience like early on like rebellion in other aspects outside of the home? Because I know for myself, like there were certain times in my life, like I experienced certain things, and I would act out in certain areas, and people were like, "Why are you doing that?" And it would result back to certain things that were going on in my life.
Well, see, I had so much fear built in me because of the things that I had seen and I had experienced. Like I was absolutely scared to death to step out of line. So when I finally did get to the age where I would, I paid the consequences on that, right? So when it gets to that point, like, I'm getting older in school, like I'm starting to lay out of class and this and that, and like I'm doing it and I know that I'm not supposed to be doing it, but at the same time, it's like, well, they'll never know because they're so wrapped up in their own lives, it will never come to light. So I'm laying out of class, so it starts to reflect on my grades, right? And then, I just manipulate, and I'm like, well, I've just had this and that, and Dad keeps us working all the time. We're working in the garage, or working in a slaughterhouse or something. You know what I'm saying? So like we're constantly doing something. So it just kind of it eases under that line. They don't never see it. It stays, kind of camouflaged until. Like I'm about ready to graduate high school, You know, the where I'm from, they wasn't real. They never called home a lot. Like now, if I got to the point to where the principals and my father had a relationship, you know what I'm saying? Like we used to butcher cattle for them and this and that and the other, and that's how they had the relationship. So they had like the inside track on me, you know what I mean? So if they seen something fishy in school, then they would call my dad, and then you know I would get a paddling in school, I'd get my ass beat there, and then I'd get my ass beat when I got home. So one thing led to another, and like you know found out I was laying out. My mom, the first time that I laid out, and she found out about it, like I laid out in this place. It's just a little construct in La Follette, and it was called Glade Springs. So she had a switch, and like I had to try and spell Glade Springs with her whipping my ass with a switch. Do you know how difficult it is to have a spelling bee while somebody's beating your ass? I'm telling you, bro. I was like G-L-O-O-O-O-O, and it don't work because that don't spell Glade Springs, right? You know what I'm saying? So finally, I got it out of my face, and it was, you know, that was one of them things where it was a lesson learned. Like I'd done it under the radar, so that way they wouldn't know.
So, did you have any siblings? Do you have any siblings?
Oh, yeah. So there was a bunch of dudes that lived in the house that worked for my dad. Like there was 13, 14 of us at a time living in the house. That's minus the siblings. You know what I'm saying? So the 9 or 10 extra guys that stayed there worked for my dad. But I had let's see, at the time I had a brother and a sister, and then they kind of moved out and went and lived with their mom, and then mom and dad had, and then that was my other sibling, which my mom had with another man in Florida. And then they had 2 of their own. So yeah, there was a house full of kids, right? I mentioned that I felt that I had been adopted because I seen kids getting treated a certain way. I seen the other kids getting treated a certain way. And then there I was right in the middle, right? Oh yeah. Like that was when I started rebelling, right? It's like, well, I'm going to make you love me the way that you love these other children. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do something so out of character that I'm going to make you love me, right? So
Did you? Because I know for myself growing up, there's always been a reason why like I did what I did, right? But the biggest thing is I always I could never really like I didn't love myself. You know what I mean? And so like for me, I know for me, my early thing that I enjoyed doing was people pleasing. Like that was my big thing. Like I didn't care how people treated me, how you talked to me, as long as you wanted to be around me, do whatever you wanted to, right? Did not matter, right? I mean, now I look at it and it's like, that was crazy. I shouldn't have done that. But back then, it was just the normal thing. So I guess for you what was that one thing that you felt like was like where you felt like inadequate, I guess?
So when she marries my dad, right? Like I'm so excited because I get to call somebody dad, right? Because that's all that I've ever looked for in my life is like as a kid, like I'm looking for my dad, right? So the other one kind of dipped, you know what I'm saying? But when I come into this situation, like I'm calling him dad, we're doing all the things, but yet he treats me differently than he treats the others, right? Like I'm constantly putting myself in the position to get, you know, what I deserve as far as what goes in his house, right? Mm-hmm. Like I don't stand up to him, this, that, and the other. And that's the way that I end up getting it, right? So that's the part to where I feel like that it turned all over for me because I started doing the same, right? The people pleasing. Mm-hmm. Like I would square peg in a round hole. The situation just depends on what I'm going to whittle myself to fit into. If it's a star, I can whittle myself to fit into a star. If it's a square, I can fit them, just keep on whittling down until I'm absolutely nothing, and everybody can see exactly what I am at that point, right?
Like a chameleon.
Exactly, because I can fit into any situation, right? It makes no difference. Whatever group that I feel like that I need to fit in, like I will get myself into that group one way or another because I have to, like I need to be accepted. I don't feel accepted. I feel like my family don't accept me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's me. Like I'm people pleasing. Like and same thing, dude. I go back to looking on that and I'm like, ugh.
When was Joey's first experience dabbling in? Let's moving on down to the addiction. So, when's your first time dabbling into something, and what was it?
So I want to since we're on that aspect, I want to make sure that I put this out there. Like, I'm not your garden variety. I am a unique soul. Like, I will drink until I'm blackout drunk. I will do drugs until there's none left and it's still not enough. Like, one's too many and 1,000's never enough, right? I mean, I don't think I'm too unique, but I just know that I have a bunch of like-minded individuals such as I. And when it comes to that, bro, like, I feel like I'm that snowflake, right? There's nobody like me. Nobody understands me. And that's even my own family. So, I started dibbling and dabbling in moonshine my senior year of high school. Like about 3 months of graduating and still a credit short. So a buddy of mine, his papa was a moonshine distiller. And he's like, look, man, he said, Papa made some good stuff. He said, you want some of it? And I said, absolutely. I said, now you're talking my language. Because the guys in the house would give me little sips of this here and there, you know what I'm saying? I would smoke cigarettes and act like a big boy, you know what I mean? Doing all the things. So finally, that's when I started getting that thing that absolutely changed me. Because that feeling of feeling like I can't be accepted, that made me feel like I could be accepted in anything, right? So that liquid courage, they call it. So 4 20-ounce Mountain Dew bottles a day is what I would go through from the time that the doors opened at the school until I got on the school bus to go home. And I mean, boy, I was hammered. And like, that was how I made a lot of friends. Like other than the true friends that I had, or what I thought were true at the moment. But like, yeah, man, like people would be like, what's in that bottle? I'd be like, that's none of your concern. Don't you worry about what's in my bottle. It's Mountain Dew. They were like, well, it's clear. And I was like, stop worrying about my Mountain Dew bottle. You know what I'm saying? And that was how people every day, like they gather up at the locker and be like, you got anything today? And I'd open the locker. I'd see them down there. I'd be like, nope, plumb out. Get drunk, ride the bus and try to shake it off. Like I've been drinking all day at school, but I'm trying to shake it off before I get home because I'm scared to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yet again, like they're so busy with the other things, the kids, the jobs.
You're flying under the radar.
Dude, I'm under the radar. You know what I'm saying? Like they're never going to know. And, yeah. And if I'm being honest, like if they know now. You know what I'm saying? Like if they didn't know before, they certainly know now.
Right.
And that was that feeling that I was looking for. And I done it for until I walked out the doors of that high school. Yeah, man. And it was crazy because I think about that and then it runs me right back into after I graduated high school. Like I graduated when I was 17. Don't know how that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was trying every way in the world to actually leave home without, screwing my life up. I had this great, huge, grandiose idea on what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. So I move in with my grandmother. I go back to my aunt's place, which is my safe place, but my grandmother at this point has moved into the house with her because, they just like to be together. So that's what they done. So I moved into my grandmother's house. I was going to Tennessee Technology back home, and it's in Kerrville, which is just a little city right outside of La Follette. Mm-hmm. And I flunked out. Like I got a grant for it. I went there for 7 months, and the only reason why I went for what I went for, which was automated drafting, was because my uncle was in there, and I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to experience new things with somebody else. I wanted to be in a class with somebody that I knew. So because I just got out of school and it's like, why would I want to go right back? So I do. And 7 months I flunk out, bro. Like I don't even care at that point because they're talking about computers and all this. And like I feel like I'm an idiot because like, at moments in my life I have been called that and certain other things. But like, and that's what I think that I am because I don't know how to love me. I don't know what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no self-worth. And so I go in there and it's like, well, I'm just going to flunk this shit anyway. So I don't know why I'm even trying. So I just let me make it easy for them. And I do. I just drop out. Go to work for my dad's ex-partner, in a garage that he's got down there. I get a car whenever I graduate high school, of course. Like, I'm driving the wheels off of it, doing all the things. And it's really weird because, like, when I get that little bit of freedom to be able to drive and do the things, like, I get that much more out of control, right? So my buddy, Papa Moonshine Distiller, he calls me up. He's like, I'm in for break. He went to college. You know what I'm saying? He went and done something with his life. So he's like, look, I'm in from college. He said, I'm at the house. He said, Romy's here, which is his sister. Said, we're going to play some cards. You want to come over and play cards? And I was like, hell yeah, bro. And he's like, well, we're doing shots on poker. And I was like, yep, count me there. So he's got this big 3-gallon jug of moonshine about this tall. Mm. I cannot tell you how many hands of poker that I lost that night. But I can tell you that I crawled out of his house and into my car. When I crawled into my car, there's no reason whatsoever that I should have ever been in that car, not even as a passenger. I drove that car 15 miles back to my grandmother's house. God is the only way that I got that car to my grandmother's house, because I didn't do it. I crawled out of the car to my grandmother's porch, vomited, and laid on the porch for probably about 2 hours. And I get to think about that, man, and like that, immediately that turns me off, right? Like I'm so drunk at that point, bro, that it turns me off for alcohol for a little bit. So things happen, like I'm still working. I move out of my grandmother's house back into my mom and dad's. And then I meet the love of my life. She's about 8 years older than I am. At this point, like, people pleasing, like, I'm going to make her love me because obviously I deserve to be loved a certain way. And like, I feel like I'm going to give her the constructs of that so that way she can love me properly. Right. So she tells me right off the rip, bro. And she says, I'm bisexual. And I'm like, that sounds interesting. I don't know what it is, but that sounds interesting. Right. So I don't know what it is, right? I mean, I've been like, I wouldn't call it sheltered, but like I've been, I guess, sheltered. Like I stayed at mom and dad's, like I didn't know anything about that, blah, 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 blah. So, of course, I didn't know. So she hits me with this and, we're doing okay for the first couple of weeks, maybe. I move in with her, I'm paying the bills, helping pay the bills, whatever it looks like. And, like I find out she's, having something to do with a woman. And I'm like, well, what's this? You know what I'm saying? So automatically I'm in resentment mode. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't stand it. Like, she's not doing, like, she don't love me properly. Like, I'm going to have to teach her something, right? So I go in people pleasing mode and I'm doing the things like, oh, baby, listen, like it's, I'm acting like it's fine because I want to keep her in my life because I'm codependent as shit. Right. So I'm doing this and I'm trying to keep her in my life. And like, she keeps, telling me like, I told you. I was like, no, you did not tell me. She's like, so I didn't tell you that I was bisexual. And I was like, yeah, but I thought we was talking about something else. And, so things come about and, I've been in a lot of fights in my life. I have had my ass whooped more times than I would care to admit. But I'm telling you, when that woman slapped me out of a kitchen chair, like my firstborn son felt it. And I didn't have my firstborn until 2010. This was in 1999. So like he come out and he was like, ow. So, like, she slapped me so hard, bro. Like, it was bad. Like, I started packing my stuff. But the thing that I'm forgetting about in between all that time is I learned what a benzo was, and I learned what smoking weed was about. And then I learned that mixing the two together is like screw drinking, bro. Like, this is what I'm looking for. Like this, now I can be that guy without being that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I can be... I'm not even, maybe I will. Like, I have this alter ego, bro, when I'm out in addiction. It's Joey motherfucking Wilson, right? There's nobody going to do me that way anymore. but it's only whenever I've got a substance in my body when I turn into that person.
So you feel like you've arrived.
Yeah, listen, I'm there, right? Like,
I'm definitely not the person I used to be.
right, yeah. Like I've let
Yep.
people walk all over me, bro. Like I put up with all this shit. There ain't nobody understands me. Like, and I can pluck, right? I've got this box in my chest, and it's slowly filling not by the month, not by the week, but by the day. It's filling, right? Because I don't know how to take life on life's terms. So yet again, we go through this. Like I figure out that mixture, and then somebody says, "Well, let's have a beer," and then I have that mixture on top of a beer, and it's like, that's it. That's the way I like to feel because I don't have to worry about anything, and all this adds up to, man, it's like it's a short term solution for a long term problem, right? And that's what it ends up being for me as a solution. But little do I know that it turns into a long-term solution for everything that I can't deal with. And it goes from one to the next. I'm working at the shop and 2020, no, sorry, way too far. 2001, like, yet again, there's that epiphany. I met the love of my life, right? I'm looking for acceptance. I want somebody to accept me, right? So I found the love of my life, right? Not to mention, like, I had found out what an opiate was, right? Pain pills. So just so happens that I showed up at the front doorstep where this girl was at, and her brother was selling me pills, and I was like, oh, cool. So that's what right? So I'm down there. I'm just on a mission to go down there and get my solution. I go down there, get the solution. So she comes running up. She's talking about this dog she's got, and do I want to pet her dog and this and that. And yeah. And like we make a connection at that point. One thing leads to another, and we start seeing each other. But it's at this point, dude, it's getting to the point to where it's almost full blown. Like it hasn't got there yet. Like the wheels are, they're ready to go, right? They're ready to start rolling. So a couple of years passed, like we were talking this and that and the other, and like the relationships that I have with a lot of people are starting to get strained at this point. Like
because of the full-blown addictions.
Well, because of the fact that like the thing is like I don't know what I'm dealing with, right? Like it's just a weekend thing. Like I change my atmosphere, I change everything about me, right? But the thing is like I don't know that it's a problem yet. We'll get to the other side of that in a little bit, right? So I don't realize it's a problem, but for now it's just a recreational thing because I like the way that it makes me feel, and like I don't have to be the Joey of whatever, the Joey of old. I don't have to be that Joey that caves to everybody. Like I have the voice now to where I can tell somebody, no, hell no, I ain't doing it. Right. You don't want me in your life, piss on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I have that courage in me to where I could tell people to get fucked. Oxycontin starts hitting the scene. Scared to death of them, being honest. Like I like having what I have. It's small and it don't cost. Like it does me well for what I need it for. But yet I cave. I fold like a lawn chair at the first sight of it, and bro, it was on. When I got that first initial taste of that, man, like I didn't just have that, I speedballed for the first time at that point. And whenever I got that and some cocaine, bro, that is what I've been searching for my whole life. That's what makes me, because I connect with some people on a different level, right? Like I have friends.
Mm-hmm. But isn't it, I find it kind of interesting hearing your take on encountering certain things throughout your life. And it's like, I encountered this and this is what I've been searching for. Then I've encountered this and this is what I've been searching. Isn't it funny though, how we, like for me, I know like there were certain things initially it was the people pleasing, right? It's like, okay. And then I've arrived when this happens, and I've arrived when this happens. And for me, it's such a wild thing. It's like, it's a satisfaction of never being satisfied. You know what I mean? For me, it's like, and it's like, okay, well, I thought this was what was going to make me arrive, and now this is taking over, and it's just like it's mind blowing.
Whenever they phased those things out, like there was another little thing that come into play, and it was O-Panas. That had a grip on me, bro, because I didn't realize that like that was going to lead me to the path to where I got to before I got here. The O-Panas had me, and then we'll get into the end of it. Did you?
Yeah. So my question is, what is Joey's rock bottom? Where Joey gets to where he's at today?
I had lost two cousins. They were brothers, and they died in two separate states, 30 minutes apart from each other. And it was crazy because I'm identifying one of the bodies, and then I get the phone call about the other, and that kind of sends me into this whirlwind of starting using heroin. So rock bottom, yeah. So I want to be clear that like my rock bottom don't have a bottom because I have a shovel and it ain't broke. I can continue to dig. So with that being said, like, what I see is a motel room that I can't afford. I make, $25 an hour. I've made, over $100,000 in the last year, and I don't have a pot to piss in. I've got my family in a motel room, and the only thing that I have there is their belongings and not them. I got a note on my car from my then wife, that it's either get some help or we're done. Like there's nothing gonna, like I'm not coming back to it. My little brother's one of us. I went to stay with my mom. I got my stuff together. I went to stay with my mom. And with that being said, like they say that you talk about service work. God worked in that boy's life, and he sent me to Johnson City, and it was from one suggestion. It was like, what do you want out of a rehab? And I was like, I want to eat good. And that's how I ended up in Johnson City. Him listening to God's word and doing a little bit of service work in my life.
What's your clean date?
My clean date is March the 28th of 2024.
The life that Joey Wilson has today. Could you have ever in a million years imagined from where you were to where you're at now that this is what life would look like for you?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because there was days that I wanted to die, bro. Like I didn't have the courage in me to pull the trigger on the gun. But I could definitely push the plunger in my arm. I didn't have it in me. And I think that was, yet again, I think that was God working in my life. Like, obviously he put me where I was supposed to be, but every day, dude, like I tried my best to kill myself, and just not with the intentional weapon, just with the weapon that was already killing me. Yeah. This life that I live today, man, like I'm so free. I am absolutely 110% absolutely ecstatic about the life that I get to live today.
One of my final questions I want to ask you, because I know for myself, I struggled with a lot of silence as far as struggling with asking for help. So for anybody out there that's listening right now, that's behind closed doors, that's struggling on their own, so to speak. What's some advice you would give someone to walk away from the addiction, to walk away from whatever it is they might be struggling with, whether it is drugs or alcohol, whatever it is, to get them some help?
Be vulnerable, man. Surrender. Let it go. Because we all have to have a helping hand every now and again. There's nothing that has absolutely helped me more than getting outside myself and asking somebody that I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what this life looks like. And it all goes with just closed mouth don't get fed, man. Like if I want help, seek help. And yes, had to swallow some pride, bro. I had to get rid of pride, because that part of me where I think I've got everything figured out and I've got the answers, and like I don't need no help. I'm a man. I got this. I didn't have anything. I had a lot of chaos and destruction behind me. And I absolutely just I give it up, man. When you get to that point, that desperation moment, man, that's the one thing that I hope that I never forget, is that desperation moment. Because at that point, like I wanted to die. I wasn't dying, but I didn't have anything to live for. There was nothing for me to live for. And just give in, man. Whatever it is, that stereotypical man shit, let it go. Because we're all human. We need help. It's nice to have a helping hand, but you can't get it unless you ask for it.
Awesome. Joey, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I've enjoyed this conversation. I've enjoyed you being here, and I would love to have you back sometime again.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Anytime.
Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for listening to Transformation Talks podcast with our special guest today, Mr. Joey Wilson. And y'all tune in every Friday, 6 p.m. We'll have episodes out. Thank you again.